Hello!
Hello!
And welcome to Don't Know Road, episode number 2. It's been a long time in the making. It's been
6 months.
6 months.
Last time we had just finished off our van builds in my parents' driveway back in Mississauga, so we hadn't even moved into it yet. It was like mid-December. We meant to be finished in October. October?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to travel in fall. But obviously, being van life, things don't happen that way, so it ended up being December. Thanks for watching us today. Just to reintroduce myself, I'm Maddie. I'm from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
And I'm Joss, and I'm from Hellsworth in Suffolk in England. So our last video we did was a van tour, and it was a van tour before we had moved into the van. It was completely bare, it wasn't lived in, there was nothing in here at all, it was completely empty, and we thought it would be a good way to show people the van before all of our clutter got in here, so it was a way of just showing it off.
We were proud then.
But in the last 6 months we've learned a lot about our van and our living situation.
How to live in the space.
Exactly.
Especially being winter, because I think we were forced to be in the space a lot more than summertime. Yeah.
So now we've learned what we like, what we don't like, what we'd like to change, what we wouldn't do again, and what we would... I forgot what I said before. Would if we could, but if we wouldn't, then we would.
Basically our likes and our dislikes of how we've done the van, just to give anybody else who's looking to build a van a little bit more insight of the after the build living situation. So as we've made pretty clear by now, we have done all of our living in the van in the wintertime. So everything that we know now about our space and living in the van is pretty much based on winter living. We're still learning. It's just summer now. It's just nice enough to like be outside as much as possible.
Yeah, but now we've left the ski resort. It's June, it's beautiful, the sun is shining, it's warm, and we're in Canmore, the beautiful Canmore.
It's so beautiful.
Okay, so let's take you guys on the lived-in version of our van. Okay, so come on inside, but take your shoes off. So, the things that we love about our van, one of the main things that we really love, weirdly, is the hooks. These 3 sets of hooks right here have been lifesavers, especially when we're at the ski resort and we come back from snowboarding all morning and all our gear's really wet and it's just big and soggy and we have nowhere to put it. Just here's great, you just throw it up and it's all dripping into the well anyway. So it's perfect. It means that we didn't really ever use the side door throughout the whole winter because it was always full of stuff. And also, all the boots were on the mat. So we have probably 3 pairs of shoes each, plus the snowboard boots, which will be used every day. So that's over 12 shoes in total. And it's just a complete mess. That's another reason we didn't really use the side doors, because we couldn't just get out of it. We always just jumped out the front doors. So, in the future, if we were to do a rebuild of the van, we want to build a shoe rack, because we didn't design the area very good. We actually think that this whole countertop here, this whole area is really badly designed. We could have utilized it so much better. For instance, in here, there's just one huge cupboard, which is great because we can have the skateboard and the washing, but maybe it would have been better to add shoe rack in the bottom and a shelf, and just better thinking. Just like this cupboard on this side, our electrical cupboard is also way oversized. It's basically just a battery and a ukulele. It's just become storage because it's so big. This whole electric panel could have been condensed to this side possibly, and then you've got another full cupboard which could have been the shoe rack possibly. Just in general, this whole area, we wanted it because it was extra countertop space and it's somewhere to hide all the electrics, but we just massively over-designed or under-designed it because we're just wasting space.
Yeah, so definitely a big waste of space in here. Also, that is my ukulele, which I do not know how to play, so if anyone's in the area knows how to play, wants to give me a lesson, please do. Other things that we would change. For me, and just a big thing, is not having a refrigerator. So everything that we buy just goes into these crates here and then goes moldy a couple days later. because we don't always have time to cook when we do buy food with work and other obligations. So when we don't have time to cook things right away, because we don't have a fridge, they just go bad. Or if we have leftovers, they end up going bad as well. So we probably spend a lot of money on food and only eat about like 3/4. But we don't know where we would put it. I don't even know if we have the space. Probably in here. Probably in these side things here. Also, I don't know if this is mostly because it was winter. Maybe it'll be different now in the summer. Not having windows was a pretty major thing for us. It got a bit depressing in the van. The days are short. You don't get very much sunlight. It's cold. You come into the van and then you're just in a dark van for the rest of the evening, which might be 4 o'clock and it's dark, and then you're just in the dark anyway. So not having windows, that's one thing that we've been talking about. Maybe putting in some windows. I don't know where. We are not sure if we want to do backside or where, but yes, windows. Speaking of sunshine, we also now really want solar panels. So the battery that's in here is our one and only battery. And is it like our only power source? So we have to charge the battery by turning the car on. Idling is very frowned upon, so we don't like to do it. So we have to charge it every time we drive short little distances to the grocery store. We have to make sure we flick it on and off. So we really want to get solar panels for the top, especially now that it's summer and the sun is actually out. In the winter, it might not have been so great because we had, 3 feet of snow on the roof at all times. All times. So there was no way we were getting any solar. But now it's definitely something we want to look into. Solar charges the battery, charges the soul. That's what we want.
One thing that I love about the kitchen, which is going to sound completely stupid, is the drawers. We bought these crates from Home Depot for $7 each. But the way that we designed the actual cabinet itself is that we just built runners from the same wood and just painted it. And I guess it's a little bit tacky because the drawers, they never slide out and we never have to use the catches. So I know it sounds really stupid, but that's just like ergonomically, it's just really handy that we don't have to unlock the drawers all the time, because we've heard people who have actually put runners in and then you need the lock because the drawers will actually, come out when you turn corners.
It's the simple things.
It is the simple things in life that make you happy. That makes me happy.
Like Joss's drawers, which are this little simple things that make him happy. This is my little simple thing that makes me happy. It's these little latches. When you open your cupboard, they just stay. You're not fumbling around with doors that are flopping down on you. And it was $6. Just didn't want to get them because he thought it'd be best just to save that money, and they're not that necessary. I still feel like I have to sway him a little bit. But when you have to fumble around for things and you can't get into your space, it's really frustrating. So just being able to do that, for me, is a simple win.
This stove has been an absolute lifesaver. We're so happy that we invested in a camp stove rather than a hob top.
Side note, to be clear, my parents invested in it. It was a gift to us.
Glad that we got one.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Just because when we're on the road, we're pretty bad. We do cook a lot of food, but we also do eat out quite a lot as well because we're not paying rent, so we can do that.
And we like it.
And we like it. So what this allows us to do is we actually save a lot of space up here, because if we had a huge hob top or 2 burners, you've just lost that much space forever. It's gone. So it's nice that we cook maybe 3 or 4 times a week, but the times that we're eating out, it's nice to be able to have the space to do other things, if you know what I mean. And also when we were in San Diego with our friends, we would go out and have coffee in the morning. You can take this out and just sit on the hill in the sunshine. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, really, does it?
No.
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 Okay, so moving backwards in the van, we're going to talk about the bed. Maddie's very, very passionate about bed. She loves to sleep. She needs to sleep. So I'm going to let her talk about the dislikes and likes of our bed.
Oh, are you saying something, darling? I was going to mention that I sleep a lot, but it sounds a little bit more negative when you say it. So yes, I love sleeping. I love beds. And anyone who knows me knows that. We have a massive bed. Massive. There's lots of space for both of us. The thing that we would change about it is the foam. this is all it consists of. This is what's underneath. We opted to get 3-inch foam, I believe, 3-inch, to save a little bit of money. We thought it felt fine when we were testing it out. We'd be totally fine with it. Not the case. It's okay, like it's livable, but it's not the comfiest. And I think we both agree that we'd spend, even you who say that you don't like sleep as much as me, would invest a little bit more money in thicker foam. Like 5 inches, probably, minimum. Yeah, so definitely splash out for a thicker foam for a comfier night's sleep.
One thing that we just would not change is the bed. The way that we designed it, compared to how some people have the high bed with a big garage underneath, this just works so good for us. Like, this is how we imagined it would work, and it's been working like that. At Big White, we'd have friends over, and it's just so good when you can have like 8 people sat on 2 benches in here rather than just like sat on a bed. And it also, it has enough room to hold all of our stuff. So obviously it's easy to get into these things when it's not in bed mode, but we've got all of our snowboarding gear under here, all of our utility stuff. It's just, it holds everything that we travel with really easily. So for us, obviously it's just such a good design because it holds everything that we travel with, but also gives us space to have our friends over. So for us, it's perfect. I mean, obviously for other people who have bikes and other bigger things, like the higher bed is really useful and then build a bench at the front. But this is just, like, we wouldn't change this. There are obviously other things that we'd like to change about the build, but they're just like so astronomically more expensive to do than is really worth it. Like, obviously we'd love to have a 4x4 Sprinter, but it's just like, we're not gonna buy a new van. Well, you know, like in the future we'd like to, but we know they're a lot more expensive. But just because we've tried taking this off-road a lot, like up logging roads. Even right now, like the road we're driving on right now is just a little bit lumpy, but I think the shocks are broken on the van. It's just so bumpy and it can't go, and we'd always get stuck in the snow, and I just think having that 4x4 option would just like, it's a dream. It's a dream.
It's a day at the spot.
Yeah, it's a dream, but like, if we were to go into a new build with a bit more money, that's something that we'd definitely look into doing as well.
But yeah, that's a bigger thing.
Yes.
We're just trying to get like the basic things out. Obviously we're still learning as well. We're still living in the van. Every day is different. It's a whole new season. It's going to be different. Also, we should make it clear that we've been doing mostly city living, like very rural is the word, right?
Yeah.
Rural living, because we do work. So we work for a few months and then we travel and then we work again. So most of that time's been spent in cities where life is a little bit different than if you were able to like park up in a beautiful spot like this and stay for a good amount of time on end. So we're still learning. We've made it to this point on other people's advice and helpful hints. So we're so happy if anyone has any questions for us or has any more advice for us as well. We're super happy to take that. Yeah, so it's just it's a learning experience. You never know what you're gonna get yourself into when you live in a van.
So thank you for joining us and watching this video. Hopefully it's been a little bit informative and exciting for you to watch it. We hope that we didn't breeze over anything too quickly or just spoke too much about one thing.
Even if we did, just let us know and we're happy to go a little bit more in depth or talk about something else that you're asking about.
So thank you for joining us. We are going to start putting out more videos. We're going to try to, like, weekly. So if you want to keep watching those videos, like, hit the subscribe button and we'll see you next time.